Hello, this is R J Dent. I'm in my library and I'm going to be looking today at the works of Gustave Flaubert, French novelist, short story writer, letter writer, quite influential in his way, mainly because he was a particular stylist. So let's have a look at some of his works. The first one that I want to have a look at is the famous one, Madame Bovary, and this is a sort of, if you like, it's the flip side of Don Quixote, in that it's about a woman who reads sentimental literature and she starts to believe it, taken in by it, and thinks it's real life, and then what happens then is becomes tragic because of her belief. As you can see there, that's translated by Alan Russell, and it's a pretty good straightforward translation. In this novel, Flaubert's prose is very almost journalistic, very factual, not florid at all, which suits the subject matter perfectly. Right, so that's Madame Bovary, Flaubert's first real novel. He did try and work on one prior to that, but that didn't come out until a lot later. Next one, which he got a little bit of criticism for, Salammbô, which is sort of set in Roman times, and this is a very in a complete contrast to Madame Bovary. It's an overly ornate, overwritten in some ways, but that suits again, this is what Flaubert does. He tries to match form to content. So he's written a novel about the Roman excesses, and so the prose is excessive. Obviously, it's just his style, and it works really well. It's a very good novel. It's an interesting story. The next one, again, this is simple prose, sentimental education, and if I can just read you the blurb to this. The story of a young man's romantic attachment to an older woman. The modern English reader can appreciate the accuracy, the artistry and the insight with which Flaubert reconstructed in one masterpiece the very fibre of his times. Okay, and it's again, it's similar in execution to Madame Bovary. The next one, a particular favourite of mine, is the Three Tales. In here there's a simple heart, sometimes translated as a simple soul, the legend of St. Julian Hospitator, and then Herodias, which is, if you know Salome, the play by Oscar Wilde, that's a short story telling of that particular tale. It's very good, with John Baptist and Salome and Herod. It's a pretty interesting story, actually. One of the better versions. If you've read Salome by Oscar Wilde, I would recommend that you read that, and if you haven't read it, read the Oscar Wilde one as well as the Flaubert story. The next one, this is the one that caused Flaubert more problems perhaps than any other piece of writing that he did, and the problem with it was this, that when he started it back in the 1840s, it was he wasn't an experienced novelist. He hadn't got the a grasp of style that he had later on, and so he had 3 attempts at writing this particular story about St. Anthony in the desert being tempted, and couldn't find the right form. So the form of it became more like it's a novel, but it looks like a play in part. So you've got, but it's a wonderful story. Very insightful, very interesting, and raises quite a lot of questions. It doesn't answer many of them, but it raises quite a few questions. And then finally, the work that Flaubert was working on sporadically when he died, Bouvard and Pécuchet, didn't get finished really, not satisfactorily. A very interesting story, and as you can see from the cover there, it's got Flaubert's Dictionary of Received Ideas as a sort of an appendix to it. And the one that I don't have is Flaubert Sensibility in Egypt, Flaubert in Egypt, the story of a sensibility on tour, I believe is the subtitle, and he went travelling, and the impact that Egypt had on him was profound and significant. So that's the only one I don't have at the moment. And there we have the works of Gustave Flaubert.